excited, Alisha, to have you here. You know we're known for our 3-hour lunches.
Yes, I always look forward to and need another one very
yes.
soon.
And I just appreciate you spending this time with me today for deeper conversations. We're starting this new podcast. I'm so excited. But I wanted my first slate of guests to be women that I knew were real, women that I knew had experienced some things professionally and personally, some things that had shaped them and kind of got them to themselves. So I want us to talk a little bit today about what that's like for you. But we'll let them know, what the professional side is first. So if you can just give us some background, where you've been on the political scene and all of that.
Woo! Well, first of all, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And congrats on all of this.
Thank
Very
you.
excited for you.
Thank you very much.
I am Alisha Thomas Searcy, and depending on what year, I may have had a couple of other last names.
Yes.
And maybe we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But according to my bio, I am the first African-American elected to the Georgia House of Representatives from Cobb County.
23 years old?
At the age of 23.
23 years old.
2 years out of Spelman. Graduated from Spelman in 2000 and bought my first house at 21 and decided to run for office after that. And of course, I've been involved in NAACP and lots of other community organizations. And I served 12 years, 6 terms in the Georgia House, spent most of that time working on education. That's my passion.
Yes.
Another way that we have connected. And after I left the legislature, I became a superintendent. So I wanted to go from, making an impact from a public policy standpoint to being in schools, having a direct impact on the education of children.
Yes.
And before that, of course, going back to school, getting a master's degree in education leadership, went through a couple of superintendent training programs, and did, I think, some very good work as superintendent.
Absolutely.
Running an all-girls network of schools. And we could talk about that.
Yes.
That's not what we're here to. That ain't that deep. We ain't gonna talk about that.
Right.
And then in 2022, I got back into politics and ran for state school superintendent. Actually, for a second time.
By the way, on your run.
Yay!
Yay! Yes.
And what I will say about that particular run, I ran in 2014 unsuccessfully. Then. And it was bruising for me, not the loss itself, but the way I was treated by former colleagues and just in politics and all that stuff. And so I really wanted nothing else to do with politics. So for 8 years later, for me to then jump in, it wasn't something I was planning necessarily. And then to win the primary, all 159 counties in Georgia.
Wow.
It was a historical race. I had 3 other people, running against me or running for the seat. It was what I needed professionally, personally, and politically to have that win.
Yes.
And although I did not win in the general in 2022, I'm still very grateful that I ran, that I was able to make education more of an issue for people and put it on their radars. And just get back out there and remember my calling in terms of how I want to serve and how I want to do good work in education.
That's good, because sometimes a loss is a win.
Yes.
And we talk about, I did a master class the other day about how to turn your pain into profit. And I started thinking about the word profit. Profit doesn't always have to do with money.
Yes.
Sometimes the profit is who you become while you're running.
Yes.
And that... even in running the races and experiencing the things even that you did when you ran the first time, helped to shape who you were running as.
Absolutely.
The second time. You probably faced things and handled things a little differently the second time than you did the first time.
Yes. And the first time losing a race, not having any titles, and I don't want to jump ahead, but I wasn't a state representative.
There, right?
Yes, I wasn't a state representative. Eventually, I was not a superintendent, and eventually, I was not a wife. Having those losses, stripping those things away, helped me go through a whole different process that was necessary.
Oh my goodness! So I don't know if you remember this, or you might. About 6 years ago, when I called you from my car crying because I had gotten a tap on the shoulder saying, your services are no longer needed in this position.
Yes.
And what you just described was, I believe, the undoing and redoing for me, being stripped of the titles. And I don't care what lane you're in, what profession you're in, there has to be a stripping away.
Yes.
In order for you to get to who you are.
Yes.
And can you talk about that a little bit? How you had to peel back the layers, or the layers were peeled back for you.
Yes.
And you had to start to do this deep work of healing.
Yes. So the way I can best talk about this, a lot of us, Black girls with lots of magic.
Yes.
Our identity is defined by our accolades.
Absolutely.
Right? If you walk into my office when I was in the legislature, awards all over the place. And that's been happening since I was in middle school.
Yes.
It's, it's who we are. So I thought. And I realized going through this process, again, losing this election in 2014, after winning 6 in a row, lose this election. I'm trying to figure out, what's next. I'm still in school doing all that stuff. And then I'm also maybe a year or 2 out of my first marriage, which I got married at 25. I was elected. So there are a lot of things happening where I recognize now I didn't really know who I was.
Absolutely.
Outside of the awards and the titles. I was very good at accomplishing things.
Yes.
And still am.
Yes.
And so I lose this election. I am now dating someone else, not realizing at the time how broken I was.
Right.
And when you are broken, you attract the wrong people.
Other broken people.
Yes. Yes. So then I'm in this new job. It's great. Making a lot of great accomplishments. But the board that I was reporting to at the time was almost similar to what was happening at home. Now I'm married to this guy. And I wake up one day and realize everywhere that I am being undervalued, disrespected, underappreciated, and abused. And you could talk about abuse in a lot of different ways. I won't go down that road, but
It's likely emotional abuse.
certainly.
Yes.
And other types of abuse as well at home. And that's when I started realizing who you are at work is also who you are at home. So the things that I was accepting at work, I was also accepting at home. It's the same person.
Absolutely.
So when you establish that you have some new boundaries, some new values, who am I? You discover. And for me, I left the job, I left the husband. And when I say left the husband, we were living in my house at the time. He went on a trip and I moved out.
Yes.
And he had no idea. Closed up the ring so it wouldn't keep dinging from all the movers coming in and out. But something I have to say about that, because, we going deep.
Right.
I only took my treadmill, the stuff in my daughter's room, and a new bed set that I had happened to I just bought that set maybe a month or 2 ago. He didn't like it. Wanted nothing to do with that bed. Little did he know it was okay because he wasn't going to be sleeping on it anyway.
Right.
But I took those things and that was it. I left everything else in my house that I had owned for 15 years then. I didn't want anything. And so I moved into this beautiful new townhouse and bought all the new stuff and all that. And it was the beginning of the new me, right?
Yes.
So it was shedding the titles and all that stuff. And so what I coined, the phrase that I coined is I had to stop doing and learning how to start being.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the only way, when you talk about the shedding, the only way I could get to that place was to shed all the titles. The superintendent, the wife, the this, the that, the state rep, all the stuff, the privileges, all the things that came with it. All that stuff had to be stripped away. And I had to finally learn, come to understand and value who is Alisha without all them titles.
Yes. Yes.
And ooh, do I love her.
Yes.
Honey, she is cute.
Yes,
she is fly. She is loving.
Yes.
She's a good friend. She's a mother, all of those things. And So as you said, sometimes you have to go through those things to really discover who you are.
So all of that reminded me. I love speaking to guests that I have history with, that I've been behind the curtains with.
Yes.
I remember when you were transitioning, when you completed the second marriage.
Yes.
And we were at a table. I don't know where we were meeting, but you said, you knew that I had gone through something similar.
Yes.
And you asked, how do you do it? How are you doing it? Can you give me like some tips? And I think you were doing a podcast at that time, like 7 tips to heal or whatever. And I said, actually, I'm in the process of writing the companion journal, Living the Deeper Life, 25 tips to living the deeper life.
Yes.
And in this book, you talked about you leaving all of the stuff. Well, I had been married for 20 years. And there was lots of stuff in the house. And I felt like the house that we were living in had fallen into a type of depression itself. And I remember when it was time to move, I decided that I'm not taking any of this stuff with me.
Yes.
Now, we didn't have Facebook Marketplace and all that yet. It wasn't that popular. But I had this little app called OfferUp. And I sold everything on OfferUp.
Wow.
Everything. I didn't take anything with me. And everything that I bought in the next house was all stuff that I picked out. It only had my energy connected to it. And I believe that getting rid of the stuff, because that's one of the tips in the book, get rid of the stuff.
Yes.
What do you need to get rid of? I believe that accelerated my healing process.
Yes.
Because I didn't have to look around the room and be connected to something that happened, while we were together, while I was in the marriage. Good or bad. So I was able to reinvent myself.
Yes.
And I even had to change my language or the tone of the language that I was using as I was looking for the next house. I remember sitting in the driveway, and this would be my first time ever doing anything big by myself for my whole adult life, being married for 20 years and we were together for 25. So I was a little girl when we got married. And I sat in that driveway and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this by myself.
Yes.
But something kicked in and I said,
I'm doing this by myself.
I'm doing this by myself.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I remember nights sitting in the kitchen in an empty house in my new house and looking around the kitchen saying, oh my gosh, there's nothing in here. I've got to get furniture. And then I said, I get to re-envision.
Yes.
I get to reimagine. I get to retell the story.
Yes.
So one of the things that we do on this podcast is we help women heal, teach them how to become more effective leaders in their own lives, and then teach them how to leverage their story. Because after you've healed from it, the further I get away from the divorce, the less I identify with it.
Right.
And
I don't even remember that second marriage very much.
Who is that?
Yeah.
We're writing a whole new story as we go through this.
Yes.
What were some of the things that you did intentionally to move forward from the marriage, from the disappointment of any of the races or any type of healing? What were some of the things that you did intentionally?
One thing I think is really important, I read a book at the time called Code of the Extraordinary Mind. And it's amazing how God's timing is, right? Because I needed to read that book at that time. And somebody gave it to me. I was in a book club or something. But one of the things that the author talks about is your quality of life. And there are a number of things that you focus on, but I realized as I reflected on my life, even growing up in Miami, everything in our house was given to us. Not the clothes necessarily, but all the furniture, even the house that I lived in for 15 years, most of the furniture was, given to me or whatever. And so I had never thought about quality of life in terms of what does your house look and feel like? Right. The furniture, where it comes from, your style. When I walk into my house, how do I want to feel? Right. And so I started making purchases based on that. Yes. Right. It needs to be my sanctuary. I want it to be real feminine and gorgeous and glittery. Yeah. So clearly I wouldn't think about no man, no nothing else. Right. Yeah. So it's being intentional. I was very intentional about the quality of life I wanted to live. That's good. So it's the car that I drive. And I have a thing that I wrote a few years ago called 10 Lies Women Tell Ourselves to keep us from being fearless.
Yeah.
And one of the lies that we tell ourselves is like, I should keep driving this 2004 Honda, you know, because it's a good quality car and it's never going to break down. And that's fine if that's what you want.
Right.
But for my quality of life, when I get into my car, I want to feel good.
Yeah.
When I have my cute outfit on and I step out the car, I want to feel, and it's not about other people.
Yeah.
It's about how I want to feel.
Absolutely.
And all of those things I think are an expression of who you are and how you see yourself in the world. So being intentional about quality of life. I also, you know, wanted to disconnect, you know, to your point about memories and traditions and all of those things. I have a close friend who's going through a divorce now, and she was talking about the other day how her ex-husband, you know, is going, or soon to be ex-husband is, you know, doing a family thing with his side of the family. And it was a reminder to her of how she lost her family. Said, you didn't lose your family.
Right.
This is your new family, you and your children. Maybe you'll be remarried another time. But now it's time to create new traditions.
Absolutely.
Right. And to not hold on to that stuff. And then I also, you know, started and I've been dancing, but I danced with a mom's group and took tennis lessons and all of the things that I've been saying, you know, these years I wanted to do. Did a lot of reading, a whole lot of podcasts, listening, whole lot of church, and just really pouring into myself.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, I was thinking about this the other day. We have to I'll speak for myself. We tend to pour into ourselves a lot when we're down.
Yes.
But when things are good, I tend not to read as much, tend not to listen to as many podcasts or sermons. But you still need to be fed.
Absolutely.
So something that I'm working on now is doing a better job of that.
Yes.
So those are just a couple of things that I did. And then obviously a whole lot of therapy.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I did at least a year of therapy between the time of leaving, you know, being separated, going through the divorce, all of that. It's just a big fan of it. So very important.
You said something that was very interesting, and I experienced it myself. You started doing a lot of things that you wanted to do. And I would say sitting on this couch right now is everything that I wanted to do. Everything that I wanted to do, I'm now doing it because I've evolved into the person who can do that.
Yes.
So are you seeing on your journey or realizing on your journey that you are who you already were?
Yeah. It's already there, but you have so many distractions. Right? Whether it's the relationship or going out all the time with friends or your job or whatever it is, kids.
Yes.
And sometimes we make great excuses, right? Because of the things that are keeping our attention. But again, when some of that stuff gets taken from you, you're kind of forced to focus inward.
That's right.
And so, yes, that person or the person who I am now has been here the whole time.
Right.
I just didn't know she was there. I hadn't discovered her yet.
Right. I said something to somebody the other day. I said, they know what they're doing. They just don't know what they're doing.
Right.
It was getting the degrees and all of that, going after all of the things, making the darn thing happen. That was already who you were. You were just not doing it from the real place.
Right.
So a lot of times we are chasing what we've already become.
Yes.
And it's just a constant evolution. And I believe that's a part of our purpose, is to get back to the 2-year-old who was fearless.
Yes.
Because we didn't come here afraid.
Right.
We didn't come here with all of this stuff on us. Those were things that were handed to us by the world, by society, by your family, by relationships. And in some of those things, as you were stripped, you've been through divorce and twice and losing status and all of that, just like I have. I think I heard Michael Bernard Beckwith say that humiliation is the beginning of healing. And I never thought about it like that way before, but it is the place where the ego is exposed.
Yes.
And it no longer has the power to control you.
Yes.
So the only place you have to go is in.
Yes.
And figure it out.
Yes.
What about your perspective about past relationships, past positions? What about that has changed as you've become more of a healed leader in your own life?
Yeah. One thing I want to add to that question, our previous point about being the person you already were, that doesn't mean, though, that you should leave out becoming the person you want to be.
Absolutely.
Right? So there are some choices there that you can also make that, whether it's habits that you had that you need to release yourself of, or healing from past trauma that you don't want to repeat. And so when I think about this question, I think about my first 2 marriages and the trauma that I experienced growing up, watching my parents who are still married and repeating those things. And they look very different in each marriage, but not realizing that that stuff was in me.
Yes.
And I subconsciously, in my second marriage, chose a partner who was almost exactly like my father, who wasn't a good husband. And so it was important for me to understand, how did I get to this place in these 2, I don't like to use the word failed because I don't think they were. There was a lot that I learned, and I'm so grateful for them. In those marriages, what did I learn about who I was then, who I am now? What attracted me to those people? Because I'm the common denominator here.
Absolutely.
So they weren't all the problem.
Yes.
Okay? Some of these were my decisions.
Yes.
So understanding those pieces, and how do I make sure that I've learned, I've healed, and I don't repeat those same things.
And starting with the question, what was my part in it?
Yes.
And that's the question that put me on the right path. When I started to see myself, I always say that when you understand your own crazy,
yes,
it gives you compassion for other people's crazy.
That is true.
They start to not necessarily get a pass, but you know where it's coming from. You can almost pinpoint what happened.
Yes.
And I remember sitting in my therapist's office, and I had all of this mental banter going on in my head. Like, I can't believe he did this, and I did this, and I did that. And then all of a sudden I realized, I was doing a lot of it, and taking 100% responsibility for my part helped me kind of in that moment shift my attention from what was happening with him to what was happening in me that made me accept less than I was worth. What was going on in me that tolerated the toxicity?
Yes.
What was happening in me?
Yes.
Which means you were a partner in it.
Yes.
So I think it's James Allen. He's the author of Not Think and Grow Rich. That's Napoleon Hill. He's the author of As a Man Thinks. He says the slave owner and the enslaved are both insane. At some level, they're agreeing to be in that relationship.
Yes.
And I'm not saying anything about slavery and all of the stuff that we went through. We know we've overcome, and we're still overcoming.
Yes.
But there's something about the mentality of a person who feels like they can own somebody.
Right.
And then there's something about the mentality of a person who is being owned.
Yes.
Just like in a relationship.
Yes.
What was going through my head that I gave this man my whole check?
Yes.
Like, what was happening in me?
I asked you that question too.
Yeah, you did ask that question. What was happening in me? But I said I was suffering from, I call it the good girl, God girl complex.
Yes.
Trying to do the right thing. You know, they say, you know, make them, you got to make them feel like a man. Well, I didn't know that wasn't my job, for one.
Right.
Because if you're a man, you're going to feel like a man.
Yes.
But I didn't know that I had to diminish to make you feel bigger. So on this whole journey, to me and to you, I've learned that we're just reflecting each other. So if you're seeing stuff that you don't think looks like you might need to look in the mirror again, because there's something happening in you that's attracting that thing that's become an irritant for you.
Yes.
So I am always amazed every time we talk, you know, something comes out. What is the difference between Alisha in marriage number 1 and Alisha in marriage number 2, and the woman that showed up in marriage number 3.
Yes, y'all, I'm in my third and final marriage.
Say it again for the people in the back.
I'm in my third and final marriage, and I want to say, I'm going to talk directly to the camera.
Yes,
is that okay?
Talk to the camera.
To those who feel like I'm divorced, nobody's going to want me anymore, or I need to get a divorce, but I'm afraid of what people are going to think. There is so much good life on the other side.
Yes.
When you choose you.
Yes, absolutely.
And there was a time that I felt guilt about getting out of the second marriage because I was afraid, embarrassed, whatever. It only lasted about a year.
Yeah.
But if we're honest, we know before we walk down the aisle that you were feeling that, and I know I shouldn't be doing this.
Yes.
Trust your gut. And so Alisha in marriage 1 and 2 was more focused on marriage and being married.
Yes.
The title, the things that come along with it, instead of being focused on the type of marriage that I want.
Yes.
Instead of being focused on what I want to experience in that marriage. So just as you focus on the quality of life that you want to experience, you got to focus on what I want to experience in my job. What do I want to experience in my marriage?
That's good.
And so the story goes, I've known my now and final husband, Carlos. We met in 2013, 14. So I was going through my first divorce when I met him. And he was a state trooper at the Capitol, and we, would talk every once in a while in the hallway and all of that. And he flirted with me, but I really didn't pay much attention to that. And so 7 years later, after I've gone through not 1, but 2 marriages, I'm at the end of the second one, and we're friends, and he's going through a divorce as well. And he reached out to me on Facebook because I posted something. And so anyway, we ended up, talking. And so we're driving one day. We're just friends. And I'm reading to him the list of all the things that I want to experience in a marriage or in a relationship. And as I'm going through this list, I start looking at him and I'm like, gosh, check. Didn't say anything to him at the time, but I, shut the computer and we're, talking. And I realized that he was there.
Right. The whole time.
Now I'm the same person that during, 3-4 months ago, I'm sending his picture to my friends. Oh, he's such a great guy, this and that. Not recognizing again that this was the person that was for me. Right. And so this marriage, Alisha,
but you couldn't see him.
No, could not have seen. First of all, he didn't look the part that I was, at that time he was real slim, looked real young. He was always cute, but just wasn't my type. Never really saw him that way. But more important to your point, the things that I was looking for 5, 6, 8 years ago, I never would have been looking for, and I never would have seen or valued as I have in him. And so because I am fully me and healed, I can appreciate what this incredible man brings to the table, and I can be in a healthy, happy marriage.
That's good. Not
imperfect, right? But I can truly be happy and have the life that I want with a partner that I want.
That's good.
And the type of marriage that I want, not just be married for the sake of being married.
That's right. Yeah, because sometimes, and I thought about when you were talking about your friend, how she was saying that she lost her family and all of that. I can remember a time standing in the window after the divorce or in the transition or something, and I started thinking, oh my gosh, I miss my husband. And then I said, but what do you miss? Is it the husband you miss? Because at that time I was being very intentional about my thoughts. I wouldn't just let a thought come into my head and let it sit there. I would really study it. Okay, what did you miss? Because he wasn't here. Right. So what did you miss? And it was the idea of the marriage. I was married to the marriage. Yes. And sometimes we get married to the idea of something and we stay in something way longer than we actually need to be there.
And to you, again, I'm so glad you said that. Obviously, both of us believe in marriage.
Yes, absolutely.
But sometimes when you don't marry the right person, we get stuck. Yes, you made these vows.
Yes.
And I know that God honors the vows, but he also honors your health, your safety, your wellness. And so if you're in a situation that you know is breaking your spirit, it's okay to say this didn't work and I gotta go. I've gotta choose
absolutely.
me. And some of us need permission to do that because we got stuck with I said this was forever.
Right.
And as long as I'm not half dead, I'm gonna stay. No, ma'am.
Married to the vow.
Yes, that is not what God intends for us.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So now that we know that a marriage is not up next for Alisha.
No, we through, honey.
What's up next for Alisha?
Ooh. So that's a hard question to answer right now. I am, 2 months out of the election, and I'd spent the last 8 months of my life, 24 hours, campaigning. What I can tell you is, and we, have all these conversations. Right. I've been doing consulting, for the last few years, and I've enjoyed that. But I recognize that I'm ready to be out front again.
Yes, that's good.
And that's okay to say out loud and to feel and to acknowledge.
Yes.
And so I am looking forward to the next role that I am supposed to be in that has something to do with education and leadership and being a thought leader in terms of what we need to do to change our education system. So
that's
I don't know, but it's coming.
Yes.
And in the meantime, I am continuing to consult and just enjoy this time. I said to my husband the other day, God is allowing us to rest.
I love it.
My husband is a retired state trooper. He spent 26 years with the state of Georgia. So he's retired. And we get to do a lot of things together. Travel and watch Netflix. And so I'm just enjoying this time. And so I just believe that he's preparing us for the next venture. Or adventure, as we say.
And oftentimes he'll bring a time of rest so you can get ready for the next thing. Well, we're going to wrap this up. Alisha, this has been amazing, amazing, amazing. I always love getting to hang out with my like-minded friends. It fuels me, and I just want to thank you for all of your support over the years.
Absolutely.
And thank you for having this deeper conversation with me.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Love you.
Love you.
Real stories, real healing, real leadership. When women rise, voices break silence, and stories become strategy. Where women rise. Where women rise. Where women rise. Hey. Where women rise. 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 Yeah. This is deeper conversation.
This is Deeper Conversations
This is deeper
with Dr. Barbara Swinney.